Welcome to the Midday. The news is live from our studios here at Kukumlemle's Joy 99.7 FM here in Accra. In Kumasi, we're live on Love 99.5 FM and over 30 affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions, including A1 Radio in Bolga, Tanga, Swiss FM in Ho, Kaleo FM in Akachi, and Gaskier FM in Techiman. For our global audience, please download the My Joy Online app from Play Store and App Store to listen live in this edition. Fix our roads. Angry residents of Medina demand of government as they protest poor road infrastructure, among others. We'll bring you details as some protesters are arrested and speak to the MP live.
What they are doing is so outrageous.
Sincere apologies for that. Also in this edition, 28-year-old man apprehended by police after he was seen driving recklessly in a viral video falls sick as police prepare to put him before court today.
Late last night, I think around 10 o'clock, he was taken ill and is currently under observation.
We have details, plus we'll get the latest on the prophet arrested in connection with Shatawale's hoax shooting incident. Also in sports.
Accra House of Folk render an unqualified apology to supporters after their 6-1 annihilation by Wida Casablanca.
And later, as we begin the 2021 May National Science and Maths Quiz Championship tomorrow, we'll hear from last year's winners, Prisek Legon, on how contestants can deal with the anxiety that comes with being on the big stage.
Pressure from the old boys, just put that aside and let your real convictions drive you towards the truth.
Press the whole nation. So I applaud the contestants.
We have that and more in this edition of the Midday News with me, Emefa Apau. Please stay for details. Many thanks for your company. This is your home of independent, fearless, and credible journalism. Sounds of angry residents of the Medina constituency chanting as they marched through the various streets in the constituency earlier today to protest what they describe as poor road infrastructure and lack of proper drainage, leading to flooding in the area. Among other scores of the protesters blocked portions of the Ayi-Mensa Damfa Road by burning tires and preventing free flow of traffic. It took police intervention to clear the road, but the angry residents say they'll return to the streets if the roads are not fixed. My colleague Manuel Kranting has been interacting with some of these protesters.
The entire demonstration covered several communities within the constituencies, from Damfa to Ayi-Mensa to Teman to Kweman to Otinibi and its environs. Now, all the people who participated in this morning's protest were calling for immediate government attention in fixing the road. On this particular placard, use our money to fix the road. Stop bathing in the sky. Bad roads are killing us daily. Is it a crime to ask for a good road? My boss, why are you holding this placard?
Yeah, it's because our roads are bad. And we've complained this not now, for so many years ago. We keep complaining about our roads. When the MPs come, we don't see any improvements. So it's about time for us to rise as a youth so that we tell the government to fix our road for us.
Okay. Fiti, I'm here. Echo Ayi-Mensa no. Enya kra drivers no omu yard ya do omu ase because the drivers see ekwane nye da omu ko workshop.
Ayi-Mensa, the road is not good. From here to where? Ayakot. Even I lost my voice as I'm talking to you. So please, as a cameraman, as a joy news, let me tell you, I am not here to talk about Akufo-Addo. I'm not here to talk about the Mahama. But our roads are not good. They should try enough. They should try enough. They are not trying. So they should be very careful. We are not dealing with politics. We are not.
You want them to fix the road?
They should fix the road. We are not okay here. Our life is in danger.
Well, some protesters there interacting with my colleague Manuel Cranting. Well, one person was arrested by the Ayi Mensa Divisional Police Command during the protest. Another protester told Joy News the police also attempted arresting the MP for the
To use this road, we are not calling for the government to do the road for just the citizens. The road is for the police, it's for MPP, it's for NDC. If the road are not made good and then we are fighting for that and they will decide to rather kill us, it's very bad. So what they are doing is so outrageous and it's so upset. We wish the police would stop arresting people, and they were even trying to arrest the member of parliament. And then by the try and then the will of the boys, we are able to let him escape. Why would you arrest a member of parliament on the street? That is so not. So what they did is so outrageous, and then the government needs to be put to right. Yeah. The police are doing what they are told to do. Yes, they know it very well, but they themselves have been. But you blocked the road. You're banning ties. Nobody blocked the road from the beginning. It was made not to be so, but they made it so because they came with a force. The demonstration was being put in the right channel, but they came with a force, and it was so outsnot. If I am doing something rightly and then you come with a force, surely you will piss me off, and I might also react to that.
Well, a protester there speaking to my colleague Manuel Cranting. Thankfully, he joins us on the line with details. Manuel, first off, do we know the identity of the person arrested by the police, and why exactly was he arrested?
So, MFR, what we know is that this person who was arrested is the youth chief at Damfa. Well, he was one of the leaders of the protest, and as you know, some of the protesters actually bent ties and blocked the road, and so that's the reason he was arrested. In fact, the police attempted to arrest the Member of Parliament, lawyer Francis Xavier Tutu, after he had publicly declined an invitation that had been extended him by the Accra Region Police to answer why the youth were bending down the ties and blocking the road, MFR.
So, do we know where the MP is currently, and did he oblige that invitation by the police?
MFR, he publicly, as he was addressing the residents who had gathered in the protest, he publicly declined the invitation and directed the Accra Region Police Command, if they indeed wanted him in their custody, they should write through the Speaker of Parliament and seek clearance. What we know is that he's returned to Parliament to continue with his parliamentary duties.
Well, has that protest ended, though, and was there any petition that was submitted, amongst others?
In fact, the protest ended abruptly after the youth leader was arrested, and then the Member of Parliament also whisked away by his aides on the ground. What we're told was that the protest was to last between 5:30 a.m. and then 11 a.m., but as of 9 a.m., it had ended abruptly due to the chaos that was erupting.
Well, that's my colleague Manuel Cranting. Thankfully, we have the Medina MP join us on the line, Francis Xavier Susu. We're grateful for your time here on the Midday News. First off, how would you describe today's protest?
Thank you very much for having me. I would describe today's protest as a very, very peaceful one. And I believe that the anger of the people were clearly expressed in a manner they really felt was the best to do. And I would say that that should send a clear signal to the government that the people on the ground are really, really, really frustrated about the deplorable state of their roads. And I'm looking forward to government taking immediate action to make sure that something is done about those roads.
Well, you say it was peaceful, but would you also say that it was lawful?
Of course, it was peaceful and it was lawful. It was lawful because, if you intend to protest, the law requires that under the Public Order Act, you will write to the police, which is what we did, and agreed as to the modalities of the protest, and that's exactly what happened. Indeed, in the morning, because the protest started from Otinibi all the way down through to Imensa, you have various communities, for example, from Otinibi coming, you have Kweyman along the line, you have Aduteman along the line, you have Damfa along the line, before you get to Imensa. You have Kweyman before you get to Imensa. And along the line, there were young people, out of the anger who were trying to obstruct road. But anytime we got there and spoke to them, they made way so people can pass. So for me, I believe that those things are part of protest. the essence of the protest is to make this morning very uncomfortable for all of us. So we all know, we can draw government attention to, how bad the road is, and that's exactly what happened. So I don't see anything really unlawful about what happened. I think if anybody acted unlawfully, then it was the police, because at the time that the protest was coming to an end, they served notice of an intention to arrest me. And I said, why would you arrest me for leading a lawful protest? And this protest we had written to you, you agreed with us to the time, and we gladly obliged and changed the time from last Monday to today. So why would you want to arrest me? And so I told them. And in any event, the Constitution is very clear. When a member of Parliament is doing his duty as a member of Parliament, you cannot arrest him. If you want to arrest me, write to the Speaker of Parliament. So why did the police want to be, to act lawlessly?
So this demonstration...
how would you arrest me in the presence and in the view of the teeming youth who have come together to demonstrate? That was going to be a recipe for chaos and disaster.
Just for clarity, Mr. Sosu, you're a lawyer. So you're saying that this demonstration that you led your constituents to embark on was your parliamentary duty?
Of course, it's my parliamentary duty. What is my parliamentary duty? I'm supposed to represent the people. I am the voice of the people. The pain of the people is my pain. The worry of the people is my worry. You know what? These people have planned long ago by themselves to do all kinds of acts that would have obstructed and caused more problem for the community. Okay. But I always told them, you know what? Wait for us to lawfully demonstrate. And demonstration is a constitutional duty. So if as a member of parliament, I lead my people to demonstrate, that is a parliamentary duty.
Okay. Well, but we are told that it took the intervention of your constituents to whisk you away, to prevent the police from picking you up. Accurate?
That is very, very true. And in fact, the police even destroyed and damaged part of my car. So I intend citing the police for contempt of parliament. I will cite it was a regional operations director that was there together with the Adenta municipal, the Adenta divisional commander, and they were supposed to ensure that those things do not happen. Rather, they were the people who were insisting and instructing their boys to get me arrested. Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to do that? Okay. And because the youth resisted and I was whisked away, I later got to know that they have arrested our youth chiefs and some of our young men who were demonstrating. What kind of lawlessness is that?
How many persons in all would you say were picked up or arrested by the police?
We have more than 10 of our young men in their custody right now. And we've instructed lawyers who are going to the regional command to make sure that we can arrange for police inquiry bail for them as we deal with the rest of the issues.
Okay. That's the Medina MP, Francis Xavier Susu, led constituents of surrounding areas to embark on a demonstration this morning in protest of the bad roads in the area. Thankfully, the MCE for the area, Jennifer Dede Ejabing, she's the MCE for Lankwantanan. We're grateful for your time, Madam. So your constituents today poured onto the streets protesting the bad nature of the roads. What do you say to them, and how exactly have we left the situation to deteriorate into this situation?
So first of all, let me say good afternoon to your listeners and express my apologies for whatever that has happened to residents who live within this area. For me, it is a very needless protest. I have kept saying I've engaged a member of parliament severally, and I've informed him that this exercise was needless. Needless in the sense that this is a contract or a road that has already been awarded. So if you're trying to get central government's attention, there are a lot of roads that you could get central government's attention on by not protesting. But in this particular case, it is a road that has been awarded on contract, but with challenges that the contractor is facing, has not been able to do much work. You have engaged the contractor yourself, and you have engaged me as chief executive. The reason the contractor has given is that the rains is making it difficult for him to come to site around this time. You've kept on putting pressure that the contractor should at least come to give an indication that you, the member of parliament, is seen as working.
When was this
it
contract
very,
awarded?
Very unfortunate.
Madam, when exactly was this contract awarded, please? If you can hear me, madam, we will have to hurry up with this. I would want to find out when exactly this contract was awarded.
November 2020.
And it's been raining all through?
No. So the
November 2020,
the contractor had come to work.
Mm-hmm.
It is not as if the contractor has not hit the ground. It is not as though the impression is created by the MP as if the contractor has not hit the ground.
So the reasons given to you by the contractor is
slow
tenable?
Nature of the contractor. But going on a protest, destroying public property as a member of parliament and a lawmaker who makes laws and breaks the laws is very, very unfortunate and a shame.
So it appears that your
constituents...
And for
me, we have engaged on several occasions. And I feel this is not the means if you want to help the people.
Okay, so if you can hear me, madam, if you can hear me, madam, please, I would want to find out from you. So today, your constituents have made a statement. They say they want those roads fixed. When exactly should they expect it to be fixed?
The hospital. And you call this person a member of parliament. It's very unfortunate because this is not the means to their development.
It appears Madam Jennifer Dede is unable to hear me. We're hoping we could get some quick responses exactly so that your constituents could hear you. Tell them exactly when these roads will be fixed. But subsequently, we'll take it up. That's Jennifer Dede Jabing. She's the MCA for La in Kwantanang. We'll stay a while longer in the Greater Accra region because the Regional Coordinating Council is expected to roll out Operation Clean Your Frontage starting February 2022. And ahead of that, 3,000 personnel, including sanitation supervisors and informants, are to be trained for the purpose. These informants will be within the community to send real-time information to a national call center for action to be taken. Regional Minister Henry Korte provided further information on the probe.
We are going to train over 3,000 people, and these people, when they pass out, will be deployed to the MMDAs. And then they will have supervisors, unlike the previous times, who will be monitoring. We are also going to have a call center where people will make calls to, take pictures and send real time. Once that is done, and then where the location is, then the task force will go and deal with it. Okay. We are also looking at rubbish being collected in the evening this time rather than during the day. So
that's the Regional Minister Henry Korte. Well, government from today will announce the ban of tricycles used for carting rubbish and other goods from plying major roads within the Accra region. And that press conference is currently underway. Now, the leadership of Health Services Workers Union has called on its members to fly red flags high today and wear armbands in preparedness for a nationwide strike action which begins tomorrow. Speaking at a press conference in Accra a while ago, General Secretary of the Union, Franklin Owusu-Ansah, accused government of deliberately causing this harmony within the health sector. He explained that since 2016, government has failed to fulfill its part of agreement between the union and government to review conditions of service for Health Services Workers Union members.
In the light of this, the union is telling the citizens of Ghana that it is unfortunate, but please don't forsake. We are telling members that should unfortunate happens, please seek healthcare treatment in private sector because the public sector will not be available. The general public, we want you to know that the union wishes to state categorically that it is not its wish to cause industrial disharmony and disrupt the smooth delivery of health services, but the continuous disregard by the government team to respond to our simple requests has pushed us to the wall and this far. Now to our cherished members who have been patient enough to work up to now, we salute you. Today, 25th October 2021, must be the last day that you will go to work as you have demanded. From tomorrow, 26th October 2021, please stay at home till you hear from your leaders. Your resumption to duty will depend on the government's team calling on the union team to negotiate in good faith and to conclude all outstanding issues.
That's Franklin Owusu-Ansah. He's a General Secretary of the Health Services Workers Union. We'll turn our attention to the courts and 28-year-old driver who was arrested for reckless driving at Opebia here in Accra has taken ill. The driver, identified as Kofi Backman, was to appear before court early this morning but was unable to due to his medical condition. Superintendent John Atanga, who is in charge of MTTD at the airport police station, tells Joy News he's currently on admission at the hospital.
Unfortunate, the court matter could not come on. He was released on bail to his family to be brought this morning. But this morning we had a document from his doctors, that late last night, I think around 10 o'clock, he was taken ill and is currently under observation. Under the circumstances, we are handicapped to talk since it has to do with health matters. As we speak, I'm just waiting for his lawyers to come. So we will have to get clearance from the medical facility that he is okay, then we can move on to the court. Because health, when it comes to health issues, the dynamics change.
Superintendent Atanga further sent a strong warning to persons who engage in such acts, adding that they will be dealt with in accordance with the law.
I just will send them a very strong warning. The IG and his team are out there, and we are not going to countenance any sort of indiscipline. It is not in the interest of anybody, all road users, including their own lives. So they should be warned. So long as we get them or we get information about them, they cannot hide anywhere.
Well, that's Mr. John Atanga. He is the Airport MTTD police commander. Will stay in the court because the pastor whose prophecy Dan Solati Shatawale has cited as a reason for his recent shooting hoax appeared in court today. The founder and leader of New Life Kingdom Chapel International, Stephen Akwesi, had been remanded for 5 days by an Accra Circuit Court, popularly known as Jesus Ahonfe. The preacher was seen in a viral video explaining circumstances under which the cell-style dancehall king will be shot. Mapitso Sibidi was at the Accra Circuit Court. She joins me in studio with details. Maps, has Jesus Ahonfe been granted bail?
Yes, MFI, he has been granted bail of 100,000 Ghana cedis with 3 sureties who are gainfully employed. The accused would have to report to the police every Monday and Thursday, and he is to reappear in court October 29th. 2021.
Okay, thank you very much, Mapito. And of course, Mapito has more on Joy Entertainment page on myjoyonline.com. This is the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. We'll be hearing from angry residents of Medina, demand of government as they protest poor road infrastructure among others. Hearing from the MP and the MCE for the area as well. When we return, we have sports, and then later as we begin the 2021 National Science and Maths Quiz Championship tomorrow. We'll hear from last year's winners, Presec Legon, on how contestants can deal with the anxiety that comes with being on the big stage.
Pressure from the old boys, just put that aside and let your real convictions drive you towards the truth.
Press the whole nation. So I applaud the contestants.
Many thanks for your company. It's time for sports. Muftar, what do we have?
Hasafok have rendered an unqualified apology to their supporters after their 6-1 hammering in the CAF Champions League playoff tie against Wydad Casablanca. The team has promised to redeem themselves in the CAF Confederation Cup, a competition they dropped to after the Champions League elimination. My colleague Michael Koeno has the rest of their statement.
We succumbed to a painful defeat in Morocco because we were nowhere close to our best on the 9th. We know that we are capable of a much better performance than what we showed in Morocco, but it was a great learning experience for our young players and technical team, majority of whom were experiencing their very first taste of continental football away from home. We have a chance to make amends in the Confederation Cup, and this important lesson we have picked up in Morocco will inspire us to rise above our current disappointment. We apologize to our fans for not making the ultimate dream come true, but we believe this is the time that the team needs you.
And that is my colleague Michelle Queno with the details of House of Oak's apology letter to their supporters.
Well, thank you very much, Muftau, for sports. And in the last 10 months, the country has experienced 28% increment in petroleum products, impacting heavily on the country. The sad news, however, is that there will be more increases because global demand is on the rise, but the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries has no desire to increase production. On the streets of Accra, Kumasi, and the rest of the country, the increment has brought nothing but hardship, and that could even worsen as transport fares looks set to go up. More on that shortly, but first, in a very personal story. Joy News, Justice Beidou went back to Medina, a community he lived in 10 years ago, to do a journey he used to frequent to see how much lorry fares have changed and how people are coping.
I am standing at Rollins Circle at a bus station in the Accra suburb of Medina. It was in August of 2008 that I first took a car from the station. I had just enrolled in journalism school and I was living in this area. Like the people jostling over space in a trotro now as I stand, I used to take a car here. The lorry fare to travel from here to my school in downtown Accra was 45 pesos then. It's been 11 years.
I'm Lord and I live at Medina Market.
Lord, like me over a decade ago, is a student.
These lorry fare issues, it drains me more than even the money that we used to buy food because, going to Accra or Circle 37 then coming back to Medina, like a day you have to, in and out might be 12 cities or more, much more than what you're going to even spend a day.
The journey from Rollins Circle to Accra hasn't changed much. The traffic situation has slightly improved as road infrastructure has become relatively better. The trotros still look old and rickety. And now the fare is 4 Ghana cedis, almost 10 times what it was 11 years ago. Suleiman Ahmed says he has been driving here for more than 10 years. According to him, the cost of fuel is draining.
Justice Beidou with that report. In the Ashanti regional capital, Kumasi, Love FM's Mona Lisa Frimpong reports that commercial drivers are unhappy with the increment.
We are here at Tech Junction in Kumasi, and many people are complaining following the announcement of increase in fuel prices, and transport operators say they are the worst hit following this announcement, and they are complaining that further increment will cripple their businesses.
46-year-old driver Kwame Sani sits in his vehicle awaiting his turn to get his passengers on board. He is worried the day will end without making enough in profit. He is unable to adequately provide for his family. Kwame attributes this to the persisting increase in prices of fuel. The price hikes have adversely affected his daily income.
From morning till evening, I can even bought a fuel of maybe, let's say, 120. But now, before closing, I have to buy like 150.
Love FM's Mona Lisa Frimpong to report the situation is no different in the Bono East region. Correspondent Anas Sabet visited some communities in the region where some rural folks say the increase in fuel prices is slowly collapsing their businesses. Meanwhile, the Ghana Private Roads Transport Union is demanding government removes at least 6 taxes on petroleum products, or they may be forced to increase transport fares. General Secretary Godfred Abulbira spoke to Israel Aye on the AM show.
But that government should look at it in a different angle and then see whether they can remove some of the taxes we have shortlisted on that letter, saying that some of them need to be reviewed or to be scrapped off.
All right, government has already indicated that there's one tax that is looking at zeroing it for the next 2 months. Which other taxes are you looking at?
Energy sector recovery levy.
All right.
We had mentioned the MPPF levy, boss levy, and then this toll recovery levy. We have about 6 of them we have shortlisted.
That's the General Secretary of the GPRTU, Mr. Abulbira there. Now, the main National Science and Maths Quiz Championship is here, and the countdown to crown the 2021 winners will start tomorrow as we begin with the preliminary contest. Maxwell Agbagba has been interacting with the 2020 winners from Presec, Legon, and they are urging contestants of the participating schools to be calm and find a way to deal with the anxiety that comes with being on the big stage.
The auditorium of the 2020 finals was filled with anxiety as the schools sang their anthem. The contest featured Presec Legon, Adesado College and Opokuwari School. After 5 rounds of heated contests, Presec Legon became the 2020 champions with just 5 points. It was an unforgettable contest that even caught the attention of the president.
This year is the turn of the Odadiers, who impressed the whole nation. So I applaud the contestants, Isaac Kofi Jemfi, Benjamin Kwanzaa Nketia, and perhaps the most famous of them all, Daniel Gakbeto.
Daniel Gakbeto wants the contestants to know it is a competition and they do not have control over the outcome.
At the end of the day, life goes on. Whatever happens, whether you win the competition or you go out in your first contest, the most important thing is to put it behind you and move on with life.
With a huge interest from old students of the competing schools, Benjamin Nketia wants the contestants to know they carry the burden of both current and old students of their schools and that they should be able to control the pressure from them.
Pressure from the old boys, just put that aside and let your real convictions drive you towards the trophy.
And Maxwell Agbagba with that report, and we'll be looking out for that championship starting tomorrow in the Ashanti region. And that's it for the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. Reckless driver in barrel video fails to appear in court after falling sick. That's on myjoyonline.com. Court grants Jesus Ahofe 100k bail over Shatawale holds shooting. A Greek minister says I didn't prevent anyone from building fertilizer manufacturing plants. That and more on myjoyonline.com. Here a little, there a little is the topic for Living Word with Pastor Menzel Tadil. Please stay. I am MFA Pau. Thanks for your company.
Benjamin! Kweku! Nkwadai na wahe.
Auntie Maggie, I don't know what to move from my anopotutu to say.
Pepesa wabua me. Na me de momo no. Emani sika.
Oh, Auntie Maggie Jaisa. Say momo aye easy cra. Obetimi afre wo momo. Eno anisa obedile 170